Hello friends and welcome to my channel if you're new, or welcome back if you're back. If you are new, hi, my name's Rabbit and my pronouns are they, them, and if you're back, welcome back. Either way, thank you so much for clicking on this video today. And if you've seen my last video, you might already know what this one is all going to be about. Basically, my last video was this huge closet declutter. I went through every single thing and tried everything on, and a lot of those pieces needed some modification. So in this video, I will be showing you the results of all the modifications. I unfortunately, very silly, did not think to film just like b-roll of me just like hanging out and like posing in any of those stuff. So all of the like side-by-side clips will be like with me talking but like on mute and stuff, so it might be like a little distracting. That was just like, I don't know why I didn't think of that, but now the pieces are like done, so I can't like go back and refilm it, so sorry, you'll have to bear with me for that one. But I still think it'll be fun to see like a little before and after, and maybe it can give you some inspiration of stuff that you could do with your closet. So I'm really proud of a lot of the pieces that I'm going to show in this video. Some of them are just like super minor adjustments, and I'll just really quickly show that, you know, did that one too. Good for me, finally got it done. And without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so I'm starting with this dress that was originally that kind of bluey, silver, sagey tone, and I was honestly really worried about dyeing it because I was worried it might lose like some of its kind of ghostly, spooky elements. And though it does look less like a swamp, drowned creature kind of look, now it feels more like a dead garden sort of vibe, and I really, really enjoy that. I think the sheer kind of elements look really, really fantastic in black, and one of my favorite things about dyeing things that have embroidery that's colorful on them is like it doesn't dye uniformly, so like you still get a sense of like the greens and the reds and the purples, but just in different tones. So I think that's absolutely wonderful. I also wasn't sure of the material before I dyed it, but I figured it was probably synthetic, so I used some synthetic dye and it turned out great. Super, super pleased with this piece, and I feel like it's more easy for everyday wear now, and less of like a costume piece for me personally. So yes, first piece I was really worried about, but I'd say a success. This is that plain black tank top. I just went ahead and stenciled the Cinema Strange logo on it. They're one of my favorite freaking bands, and I think since, I mean, I don't really use Spotify, but last I checked they're not really on Spotify, which is why I think they don't get as much love as they should and deserve, absolutely. You can find their music on YouTube and Bandcamp, and if you buy their music on Bandcamp, you should do it on Friday so they get more revenue, you know how it works, Bandcamp Fridays. Yeah, this is my Cinema Strange t-shirt, little DIY merch. I think it looks super cute, and if you're interested in learning how to make your own stencils, I have a lot of videos on my channel. I'll go ahead and link it below. But yeah, that's how this little black tank top turned out. This dress was made out of like the base of that red tank top that I really didn't like the neckline and kind of shape of, and I think I transformed it in a way that I absolutely am just over the moon with. It feels like this sort of goth ballerina kind of dream that I've always had. So the tank top itself, I just cut the top off and then added these red ribbons as straps. They're just tied in the top, and I'll possibly secure them in a different way in the future, but we'll see. I added a little sword charm in the center just to give a little bit of visual interest, and I've always loved these like pointy V waistlines, so I wanted to incorporate that, so I just cut the tank top in like a V shape in the front, and then when I went to sew in all the fabric around it, I just, you know, followed that shape. And then to make it a little bit tighter in the back, I just added two little metal loopies and then put a ribbon so I could like tighten it as I please. This is the dress that I wore on my 26th birthday, so it has already like a very special memory in it. The bottom part is all just made out of repurposed materials, so let's go through that really quick. So there's a red underskirt that I originally thought I was gonna donate as like scrap fabric, but basically it's the fabric from that red cat skirt. I was just gonna save the top layer of it, but then I realized that it would make the perfect underskirt, so that's where the red part came from. And then some of the material, like this fishnet, was from that fishnet long sleeve that I turned into a tank top, and then this is scrap fabric that used to be like a scarf that I turned partly into one of my capes, but the rest of it is here now. Then I got like some leftover spiderweb Halloween kind of fabric. all sorts of different leftover lace and bits and pieces from kind of projects. I was pretty inspired by this project that I saw forever ago on antimoneyandlace.com. I'll link it below because it's a wonderful website and it's a really beautiful project. I didn't want to go the full way and do as elaborate of a job as they did with like all the super thin tiny strips. I wanted to do like kind of a lot of really big strips of fabric. So I had kind of sewed them all together to the top of the thing, and then there was like a gap between everything and it looked kind of weird, so I decided to just go ahead and really roughly sew all the pieces together so there's seams between everything and it like stays together in one big piece, and I think it just looks absolutely wonderful. It's so much fun to dance in and I'm just like absolutely so freaking pleased with it. Yeah, it went from a tank top that I really didn't like to probably one of the favorite dresses in my wardrobe, so absolute success. I'm very pleased with the turnout of this, and it's super comfy, so bonus points. Okay, so originally I thought I was gonna get rid of the little black velvet sweater, but I ended up cutting it short and then adding the thing, because I've seen these sweaters online with like the little loopy chain things and I've always thought they were really pretty, but I also figured that it would be an easy enough DIY, so I figured why not just do that with this one that I was gonna get rid of anyway. It looks like that. I think it works out pretty well. I made it detachable, so if for whatever reason I don't want to wear it with the chain thing, I can also remove that and unclip it at the back as well. Or, you know, clip it lower. That could be like a fun thing. Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of a spiderweb, and I've been wanting to experiment with making like some spiderweb chains to attach as like chest harnesses or leg harnesses or different things like that. So very cool first step into that, and I like it a lot. And yeah, though this is like a thing that I think a lot of alternative people have, it's a great look. So I figured why not DIY one for myself. Thumbs up, I enjoy this piece and I think it'll be really fun to layer with. This is how the Spiderweb cardigan turned out. I'm not gonna lie, it was a bit of a back and forth work in progress. Took a couple tries till I got it right, but I'm super pleased with the final result. What I started with was I originally thought I might do like a beaded kind of pattern, but then it wasn't like kind of lying straight, so I ended up just trying to do like some embroidery, but then the embroidery was like a little bit loose, so then I added some interfacing into the back and then went over the embroidery again and kind of like secured it down with like an extra layer, and I think it turned out really well. I've already put it in the wash once and it held up fine, so I have high hopes. I don't think you can see really the interfacing like peeking out that much. I tried to like trim it quite well, and yeah, hopefully it holds on up. I think it looks absolutely wonderful, and I'm really pleased to finally have this like really cute little spiderweb cardigan thing, because I've always seen these probably since I was like 14 and thought they would be like so cute and I would love to have one, and now I do. So wahoo, very pleased with the final result of this. This top, I didn't think I was going to change it up at all, or at least that much, but I ended up taking it in at the sides a little bit because every time I wear it I'm like, oh, it's like a little bit loose, I wish it was a little more figure hugging, so now it is, and I think that looks really nice. And then the other thing that I did, I don't know if it's super obvious, but I changed the neckline, and now it's like much more square. It used to be round, and I just like went and pinched both sides down and like added a bunch of stitches, and I think it looks really cool. I've always been a fan of square necklines. They make things look so much more like old-timey and fancy Victorian kind of moment. So yes, that is the modifications to the black purple velvet bat top, which I had already DIY'd, but now DIY'd even more. I think it looks super fun, and I'm excited to wear it out to dance in and stuff. Alright, so this is how that fishnet turtleneck sort of turned out. I'm so happy I went through with actually customizing it because I think it looks super cool, and I'm way more excited to wear it now. Before it felt like very beachy or sporty in some sort of way, but now it feels much more like something I could wear like to a club, or like in, it almost has like this tech wear look to it, which is usually not something I go for at all, but I think it looks really fun, and I'm excited to like experiment more with it. I'm considering poking some thumb holes in it because I like it best when it's being pulled versus like when it's not. It's like kind of like this. So that's always an option, we'll see. I'm also really proud of myself for this one because I used all the bias tape that I used around the collar and the base, or like 90% of it, I rescued off this old project that I had failed at making. Like it was like kind of half of this like spiderweb dress top thing that just was not going to fit me at all, and it was just rotting in my closet, and then I really needed some bias tape, and I was out except for what was on that, so I like went in with my little seam ripper and picked it all off and got to give it like a proper life, and I think it looks really, really nice. I'm new to bias tape, but I think it looks fantastic and I'm pleased with the result. With the sleeves, since I didn't have enough, I just kind of rolled over the hem and gave it like a really thick stitch, and I stretched it out so it gave it like a lettuce hem while I was sewing it. That was sort of unintentional, but I don't think it looks bad per se. And yeah, I think it looks wonderful. I'm super pleased with this little fishnet top, and I think I'm way, way, way more likely to wear it now that it looks like this. Okay, so this is how the corset that I tried to fix up worked out. Okay, so this thing. Did I spend more money on repair materials than I did on the thing itself? Yes, absolutely. Did it take a kind of inordinate amount of time and one failed product before I got to the right one? Absolutely, yes it did also. Was it worth it in the end? Who knows? Honestly, I'm not super sure. Cage, I remember I was like showing him the damage on it and he was like, I don't know if it's worth it. Like, I think it's just a lost cause. Just like cut your losses. Don't bother. And I was just like, no, like I think I could make it work, whatever, whatever. Then I got this vinyl repair kit and I put it on the thing and it just melted the vinyl off. So I was like, okay, that's not gonna be an option. Then I got this roll of like leather repair fabric stuff that's like adhesive on one side. And I like traced out the whole shape of the corset and cut it out and then pasted it on, and it like looked pretty okay, and then I put it on and then it started to kind of like peel and crumble away from the thing. So then I went in with a hand sewing needle and stitched all under the spots, like under where the red vinyl is, and then I used my sewing machine to stitch all the like top stuff. I just wanted to use my like hand stitching to do these parts because like I wanted it to be really close to the detail and I didn't want to like mess up the red latex. It was a really long process, and in the end I don't know if it was worth it because I really missed the shininess of this. Of like the way that it looked before. Like it was so much more, like the latex was just like, yeah, very cool and shiny, and the leather is like very much less so. Also it's fake leather, and there's like certain parts of it that I think like wrinkle and kind of pucker and maybe don't lay as nicely as they could. So yeah, in the end, was it a complete waste of time? You tell me. Either way, it's done, and hopefully I can get some uses out of it now. I feel like more comfortable wearing it than before, because before I was just like, this is just like literally peeling as we speak. But this was, yeah, I could have probably just bought a new corset for cheaper, but this way I repaired something and gave new life to something and learned a new skill and now have a bunch of extra material that I can use in other projects. So we live and learn. On to the next thing. So this is how my little Emily the Strange kind of hoodie turned out, and I think I'm finally happy with it because I kept doing like more and more to it and was like, I don't know if that's enough, I don't know if that's enough, and Kate kept being like, I think it was enough like 5 steps ago, and I was like, no, still not done. But I finally finished it up this morning and I'm like, okay, today finally I am complete, so let's go from head to toe on it. The hood is very much inspired by a official like Emily the Strange hoodie design that I saw online, and I was like, I want to do that. So it's very much just like this kind of like ragdoll kitty sort of situation. I used some old buttons and random pieces of fabric and like fabric that used to be a bed sheet for the ears and little X's for the scars that I just did with embroidery floss, and I think it looks really cute. Little nose, little whiskers, and then I did like a line of embroidery floss like all around the hood. I also added like a little stripe inside because I saw these other official Emily the Strange hoodies that had like a striped interior portion. I added some spikes on the shoulders this morning, and I made sure to put washers in with them. This way, since like this kind of fabric, I've always been like scared to put spikes in because I don't want to like stretch out and then lose the spikes. But with big washers that I got at the hardware store, I think we are in safe territory. They're not super even, but it's fine. It's okay, we'll live. Then I added some black hand stitching around the like shoulder seams. I added some grommet tape to the back so I could like tighten it a little bit if I wanted. Right now I just have a shoelace in there but I might replace it with some ribbon so I can go up the whole way, but it's fine if it's just like the bottom that's kind of cinched. It had the stencil that I had done on it before, but to kind of emphasize it, I added a bunch of these safety pins on both sides. These are all, okay, I got them at the thrift store, this like Ziploc container of safety pins, but the thing with them is that they're all very slightly bent. Do you see this? It's like banana shaped. Why? And they're all like that, so I don't know if this was like a manufacturing error or if there's like some kind of specific safety pin that's bent that's used for a specific thing, but if you know, let me know, because I would be curious to find out. Regardless, I just did like the safety pins all the way down, very mismatched and cross-hatched, and then I added like this red and black stripe of fabric. Oh yeah, okay, I remember why I did this now. Okay, so originally I wanted to do these like kind of trip pant style straps on the sleeves, but every way I did them looked kind of weird and cumbersome, so instead of doing that, yeah, that's why I had that extra fabric. So yeah, I had decided to add this little border around the base. Sorry, I did this a couple weeks ago, so it's just coming back to me now. But yeah, it's just a little strip of fabric. It was originally going to be a strap, but then turned into just like a little belt kind of looking thing. And yeah, I think it has enough elements finally that I feel like it looks cute and cool enough that I'm happy with it. I think it looks extra good when I wear it with the hood up. Let me show you like the full outfit. Yeah, I feel like with the boots and the plaid skirt and like the little like hoodie ears, like it's so early 2000s emo, silly little mall goth moment, and I'm living for it. I think it's so cute and fun, and yeah, I'm really excited to wear this out and about. I think it looks really, really cute, and I'm happy that I finally added more elements to this little sweater thing, because yeah, it was a cute piece, but it just needed a little more spice, and now I feel like it finally has what it needed, so thumbs up for that. Okay, so with this Batwing kind of shaped corset, unlike the other secondhand one, I have not repaneled this one yet, and I don't know if I will. I did add in the new grommet, so it does properly lace up now, and I like tightened the sleeves so it like fits me properly and whatever. But the crinkling is still quite obvious. Not as bad as the other one, it's not as peely or anything, but I don't know. I like the concept of it, but I don't think it's worth it to like repanel all of it and stuff. So I think I'm just gonna like hold on to it for lookbooks and stuff, and like to use it as a layering piece for the next foreseeable future, but I don't know how long lasting it'll actually be in the closet, because already we are struggling. Regardless, I think it does make a cute little outfit with the boots and the little flowy kind of see-through skirt. So yeah, it is a cute piece, and I think it would do some really interesting like vampiric looks, like with layered under a white frilly shirt and stuff, so I'm excited to incorporate it more, but also, yeah, a little bit anxious to wear it because I don't want it to continue falling apart. It does look nicer now that it can lace up the right way though, so that's the result of this. So this, if it doesn't look familiar, was originally that green kind of sage colored dress with the tiny white flowers on it, and by dyeing it, it actually completely removed the print, like you can't see any of it anymore. The other thing that I did not consider that would happen is if you boil elastic, it loses all of its elasticity, I guess. So I had to re-sew an elastic into the back because I was like, wow, it's like way looser than I remember. And I think that's what happened. The white lace at the bottom dyed to this really lovely gray color. I'm very, very pleased with how this dress turned out. I feel like the silhouette still feels a little bit like Little House on the Prairie, like cowboy moment, but it's adorable, and I think with like the corset and the right accessories it can get a little more like alternative looking, but it's adorable regardless, and I really like the shape of it. I wish I had thought through the fact that the elastic would get a little bit messed up, and I didn't really fix it properly, but I did my best. So that's the dress that all I did was dye it black and add a little elastic in it. Okay, so I'm super, super pleased with how my orange cardigan turned out. Originally it had a hole in one of the armpits, I think it was this one, and now that's fixed, so woohoo for that. Took like 5 seconds. I don't know why it always takes me so long to make these tiny repairs. I'm also still considering changing out the buttons, but if I do that, it might be closer to October Halloween time, just because, you know, that is what it is. The other thing that I did was that I changed the back patch on it, and I am so pleased with it. Are you ready? This is some fabric that I found on Facebook Marketplace, and I think it's the cutest thing in the world. I don't know if this is visible in any way, shape, or form, because I feel like my camera has trouble focusing on these kinds of things, like with the high contrast, but it's like this little very scary little like Halloween scene, and it feels intensely 80s and adorable. And I used a really heavy stitch on my sewing machine, super close together but also wide, because I wasn't able to hem the fabric because the design was so close to where it had been cut. So yeah, I think this looks really nice, almost like an embroidery stitch, and I just did that with my regular old sewing machine. So yeah, really pleased with the result of that. I think this is just like the sweetest little Halloween cardigan. Okay, so this is how those dyed black Legwarmers turned out, and I just think they're absolutely so cool. This is kind of the look. I just think that Legwarmers give such a good silhouette. The only thing that didn't dye is some of the white thread, but I think you can hardly tell. And I feel like the movement that Legwarmers give to an outfit, especially with like a flared skirt, is just like so freaking cool. It gives like a very cartoonish sort of raver vibe, and I absolutely adore it. I've always loved Legwarmers, and yeah, these ones are super comfy, so I'm so happy that I kept them around, dyed in black, and I'm really excited to incorporate them into more outfits, especially like to go dancing in. This is that dress that my friend gave me from university. Also, I don't know if I mentioned, but they recently got engaged, so congrats to them. It was also their birthday, so happy late birthday. But yes, this is what it looks like without the swirl patterns on it. I think it looks really good, and though I still wore it all the time while it still had the swirls on it, I think it looks really nice without them as well. So I'm super pleased about that. This is what it looks like without the thingy over top. Super cute. I like it a lot, and very pleased with the minor modification of it. Okay, so I don't know if I even mentioned anything about this dress in the video that I did going through my closet, but I did some modifications on it that I don't think other people will notice so much, but they mean the freaking world to me, and I just need to tell you guys, because this was a kids Wednesday Addams Halloween costume that I got when I was probably like 16, and since it was for kids, the arms were kind of tight and it was pretty short, so it had like a big gash in the arms because I just like cut a hole through it, and then to remedy the shortness I had put lace all around the base of it. However, I didn't have enough lace of the type that I had, so there was this one random patch in the back that had like mismatched lace, and then thirdly it had this little Velcro buttoning in the back that was so itchy and uncomfortable that I do not know how I freaking wore this dress and loved it so much with like the sensory issues that I had with it. So how I have fixed all of these problems: in the back, I took off the Velcro and put in this little hook and eye loop, I think that's what it's called. So much more comfortable, super easy to put on, and I love it. I just took off the sleeves completely and replaced them with this random white piece of sheet. Made these DIY myself, and like there was kind of a gap here, so I just kind of like sewed it together, and now the sleeves don't have a random hole in them and look just like a lot better. And then for the skirt, yes, it still has like gaps between the lace. That doesn't bother me so much. Now the back that had like a random piece of doily cut in half doesn't have that anymore, because when I was taking apart a sweater that had like a bunch of lace around, I realized that the lace matched the lace of this, so I could just like cut a little piece of that and then use it to finish up my dress. So I'm so freaking happy with the final result of this. It's so cute, so much more comfortable now, and I'm just like really pleased with the all over result. So huzzah! I know that to everyone else this dress probably looks pretty much the same, but those like 3 little details just make me a lot happier, so yay. Now this, I don't even know if you can tell on camera, definitely not from this far away, but this dress before was so completely like pilled and filled with like little scraggly bits of, yeah, like little round fabric things. And I just thought that it was a lost cause and that I could not wear it anymore, and too bad, so sad. But I got one of those little lint depiller things, and I'll put some side-by-side pictures so you can like actually see properly. But this thing is like new. When I got my little lint thingy, I spent like probably 3 hours just going through sweaters, dresses, all this stuff, and they look so freaking good. This isn't sponsored, this isn't an ad, this isn't anything. I'm just really, really pleased. And I was like telling all my coworkers about it and being like, you can borrow mine. I got it, you can use it because it's great and I love it. And yeah, now we're back to having this dress in rotation and able to be worn. So very, very pleased with that. Still kind of annoyed with how quickly it pilled, but look at us go. Finally back in action. Okay, so this is kind of like a 3-in-1 look, so let's get into it. It's all like pretty minor stuff. But first is the sweater, which I thought that I would get rid of. It's the sweater that I've had since I was 16 and I had the patches on it. But I took the patches off and lint rolled it and was talking to Cage about it, and he was like, I would wear that. And I was like, oh, okay. So yes, technically getting rid of it, but it's just moving to the other side of the closet, so I'll probably still wear it. And it looks amazing now that it's all like lint, or not like lint rolled, but with the fabric depiller. My goodness. Very, very pleased with that. I'll show some side-by-side pictures up close, because yeah, very, very impressed and happy. Then the plaid skirt, again, not a huge change. I had the patch on it that was peeling and now it doesn't, and so I feel more comfortable wearing it again. And then last but not least, this is kind of, you can't really tell that much, but I fixed these garters because the straps on them originally were broken. I had found them at the thrift store and they're really cute because they're the ones with the pinstripe, but the problem with them was that the clasp at the bottom, it was like this plastic that had snapped on pretty much every single one, so every time I would wear them they would like poke and dig and rip into my legs, so it was super, super uncomfortable despite the fact that they were like very, very cute. So what I did was I cut those off and then just sewed them short, like into a little loop at the top. So this is the old garter, and then I just attached new straps. I had these, I think I found them off some little thing that I got at the thrift store forever ago. But yeah, just added replacement straps, and now one of my favorite garter belts is up for wearing again, and no more pokey plastic bits in all the spots, because I think I had safety pinned it before, and it was just not an effective method. So yeah, finally can wear this again. 3-in-1 look of some very minor adjustments. This was a super easy fix on this dress. I just had to re-sew up one of the sides. I honestly forget which one it was now, but now I can finally wear it again, and it's so freaking cute, and I really like this dress, and it's so comfy. So yeah, super easy fix, but worth showing because I am proud that I finally managed to get it done. I don't know if this outfit looks kind of really stupid, but I watched Crybaby the other night and Wanda is just so cute that I feel like I wanted to really do like something with like a 1950s like adorable little style. Not my usual wheelhouse at all, but it was fun to try even though I feel kind of out of my comfort zone. Anyway, this is how the pants turned out. You can't really tell, I think, on camera that much, but I depilled them. I trimmed all those like random little threads that were hanging out, and the knees were super stained in a way that even after I washed them it didn't really work. So I did like a stain removing treatment on them the other night, and I feel like they look so much better, almost like brand new without any of like the fabric peeling and stuff. So yeah, just super, super pleased with the results. I just feel like they look so much freaking better. To be fair, they are just kind of work pants for me that I usually just wear that with a t-shirt, and it's like nothing fancy, but I feel like they definitely have the potential with like the little checkers and like the straight leg thing to be like a very operetta 1950s little adorable thing. So yeah, I did my best. I think it looks swell, and the top is all cleared off now. Now I originally thought I was gonna turn this sweater into Legwarmers, but after I depilled it I was like, wow, it's pretty much good as new. It was also missing its zipper pull, but I still had it, so I just clipped that back on. And honestly, I think this is ready for round 2 in my wardrobe. I know it's like kind of a crappy sweater, like quality-wise, but I like it. I like the moon sleeves, I like the moon hood. Perhaps eventually it will turn into a pair of leg warmers and an attached hood or something along those lines, but for now I'm like, listen, it's pretty much back in good condition, at least as far as I'm concerned. So I'm ready to have this thing in my closet again. Yeah, just back to being fixed. Okay, this orange plaid shirt, another fairly simple one that I did. I just removed the one patch that was here, and then I removed the back patch and replaced it with this great one that I got in Edmonton last year, I want to say. Yeah, it's just like this cat with the moon and I think it looks fantastic, and the blue tones work really good, I think, with like the blue tones in this, and I'm really glad that I finally found a spot for that patch, because when I had bought it I was like, this is so beautiful, but a lot of my clothes aren't this color, so where will I put it? And now, like 6 months or so later, it finally found its home. That's what this looks like now. I really enjoy the final product. A super simple one, but very pleased. Alright, so this is a bit of a 2-in-1 look. Part 1 is the top. This was my coworker's top. It was just a teeny bit big on me, so I went ahead and added 2 like kind of pinch-in parts at the back, and now it fits me great and I feel way more comfortable in it. I don't feel like it's gonna like fall off or like have a big gap if I like lean over or anything, so thumbs up for that. Then the other thing is this skirt. Oh my god, I did not realize how much I love this length of skirt. This is my first skirt, I think, in a really long time that I've worn that has this sort of like mid-calf length. It's so cool because you get to show off your boots. Let me show you what I mean. So like with so many spooky, long, gothy skirts, they cover up one of the best parts of the outfit, which is the boots. But with a calf-length skirt, look at them in their full glory. What a revolution! How did I never think of this before? There's just like something about this silhouette and this look that makes me feel incredibly cute. So yeah, oh, and for the skirt, the thing that I modified on it was missing its little buttony thing at the top, where it was like all weird and twisted, so I just added a proper one of those in. Super simple fix. I also tried to iron it a smidge, but I was a little bit worried about that, so I didn't iron it a ton, but just a little bit. I feel like I should clothing steam this or something to be more delicate on it, because it's like vintage fabric, but I don't have a clothing steamer, so I'll just, I don't know, hang it up in the bathroom or something when I take a shower. So that's the top, that's the skirt. I think they look absolutely fantastic together. Yeah, I just very happy with these 2 very simple fixes. So this skirt is another one that had just super minor adjustments, but originally the top parts here were super frayed and like coming apart quite a bit, and now they are still a little bit frayed, but less so, and I feel more confident about wearing it up because it's not coming apart so much. Also, I was watching a Heidi Hazardous video lately where they had a really similar skirt to this, but it was like probably this length, and I hadn't seen that before, and I was like, god, that looks so good too. So I don't know, inspiration. If you don't really like long skirts, I feel like a short version of this would also be amazing, and also you should check out Heidi's channel. I'll link it below because it's amazing. But yeah, super tiny adjustment on the slit skirt, but I think it looks great. I think this is a detachable faux fur collar that I found at the thrift store, but it doesn't have an attachment mechanism, so I'm just gonna put a button or a clasp of some sort on it so I can use it as a collar. Okay, so this was a super simple thing, but I just finally put a button on this collar and also a little clip. This is obviously not needed, but I figured I'd show because I was like, oh, theoretically I could have been wearing it all along with just like a little brooch pin, because I have a couple of them that I've gotten from the thrift store, but regardless, I can show it to you without. Yeah, this little collar was just sitting in my to-do pile for like since I got it, for probably a year or more. And all I had to do was add a little button and an elastic, and finally I can wear it, and I think it looks so cute. It's just like an easy way to add a little detachable collar onto anything I like, and I'm happy I finally did it. A very fun little accessory to add to any outfit, so yeah, very pleased with it. And you can even wear it like open as like a little mini stole. I don't know, does that look dumb? Whatever. A good little accessory to add to the pile. This is a collar I started and never finished. It just needs the clasp. This is another thing that was literally like a 2-second fix. All this collar needed to be completed was a little friggin' clasp. Sewed it on in like 5 minutes, honestly. But yeah, it looks really cute. I feel like it's a great layering piece over a sweater, but I also want to kind of experiment with layering it over more like sleeveless stuff, because I think that's also an interesting look. Anyway, I made it out of a pair of old bed sheets that I thrifted forever ago, and I really like the look of Batwing collars, so it's fun to have like a red and black one that feels somewhat piratey but also vampire-y. I don't know. I'm excited to have it now wearable in my closet. This backpack strap is coming off, so I need to fix that. It's my DIY Skull Animals bag. Another 2-second fix, but that doesn't mean I'm any less happy with it. Finally it's done. Finally Miles is wearable again. This is one of the earlier collars I DIY'd. It's kind of coming off, the like lace parts are at the edges, so I'm gonna go ahead and fix that. Hi, Mr. B. This was a really quick and easy fix. I went ahead and sewed it back together, so now it's back in good shape and I'm ready to wear it in my everyday again. I really like the big dolly collars. I think they work really well in like spooky aesthetics. Okay, hi. So I figure I will also fix up my everyday purse. So if you're interested in this, I have like a video about how I made it, but pretty much since that video, I've been using it as my everyday purse every single time that I go out. Mr. B. So as you can see, it has some wear and tear. It's missing some of its spikes. The grommet tape is coming off. This is like pilling a lot. I just need to do a couple minor repairs on this bag as well. So we're gonna add that to the list of repairs. While I have you here, I also did some repairs on my purse, my Everyday Emily purse. So it was missing a bunch of its safety pins. So I attached those all back on, and then I took a pair of pliers and pinched them shut. I don't know if you can see that, but that way they are less likely to fall out. Looks like some of them have still managed to open, so I might still put some glue in there eventually as well, but yeah, I feel like pinching them shut has already helped a significant amount. I had some belt spikes on here that had fallen off, and I replaced them with these glue-on spikes that I found at the thrift store that I think are working really well. Then my grommet tape was completely becoming unstitched, so I stitched that back on, so that's nice and strong again. And then this thing was covered in those little like pills, so I used my new lint roller thingy on it, and it's looking good as new. And then a lot of these spikes had fallen out on the side of the purse, so I put new ones in, and I put washers with them. And this way I think they'll last a lot longer and are way less likely to fall out. But they're still removable. It's not like I'm gluing them in or anything, so that's really nice. And I think that's all the repairs I did. I might have done like some extra reinforcement of stitching in certain places, but yeah, it's back to its almost former glory, and it's feeling fresh and happy. Also, feel free to skip around, but I wanted to show you guys all the stuff that I like harvested from my closet clean out. Like when I was going through the things that like I needed to like either take stuff off of or just were trash and I needed to recycle, but I wanted to like harvest some little bits and pieces of them. This is all my box of like things I got. So if you want to see, let's go through it really quick. Okay. There's a couple of large pieces of fabric that are already in the closet that I'm not gonna bother digging out, but it's like the red fabric from the skirt. You know the drill. Let's just go through like the kind of fun little exciting tidbits. This pair of kind of faux leather wings I think could be really cute in like a stuffed animal custom, because I like to make like creepy stuffed animals sometimes, or it could be good on an outfit, but I think it might make it like kind of hard to wash if it was like on a jacket or something, but that could also be an option. But yeah, these I'm really excited that I harvested off that bag. I harvested this zipper off of this dress that I took apart. This was from actually a while ago, but it was like a lace dress that I made those arm warmers out of, and I guess I never took the zipper out, and now I did. Have a bunch of lace. Oh, this was the one that was kind of itchy that was around my little black t-shirt, and now I can use it in a different project, so that's very exciting. These grommet pieces of my old Doc Martens, and also the ribbon that I used to tie the laces of them with. The ribbon's a little bit destroyed, but that can definitely be used in something. And this are like fun little metallic elements that I can incorporate into something or another. I have these black ribbons that were the shoelaces on those horrifying failed Draculaura boots, and I have these black ribbons back, so that's nice. These are some socks that had holes in them, or they were. Now I have just like the ankle part of it. You could either turn these into something like arm warmers, or in my case I'll probably use them in a future project where I make like a sock shirt or sock pants or sock something or other. But yeah, I got those. This one I might just cut the patch out of and then repurpose the fabric, but this is a bunch of that fabric that I got off of Marley's old dress. It's like this lovely, almost like frill that's like stripy gray and black, and I feel like it would make really good detailing on something or another, and I have like a bunch of it, so very, very excited for the possibilities of this. Then when I was dyeing clothes, I decided to just throw in a bunch of lace that I had Most of the lace I have is white, and I'm getting really low on black lace, so I figured if there was any black pigment left in the dye baths, I'd just throw the lace in and see what happens. So this one dyed the best. It was, I think, the earliest one that I threw in, and it's just like this nice, stretchy, black floral lace. Yeah, used to be white, now it's black, and it is exciting. This one used to be white and yellow, I think, and I think it's like bias tape almost, because it like opens at the top, so you could like put the fabric in it and then like have a nice border around things. So yeah, used to be white and yellow, now it's like gray and darker gray, almost lavender, so that's kind of cool. And this one also turned a little bit lavender. I think it was just kind of like a grayish beigey off-white, but now it's like a lovely dark gray lavender floral lace. So yeah, I figured I'd just do that because yeah, I had so much dye water left over and I was like, let's see if there's any pigment left in this, and just threw in some random stuff. This is the collar from that fishnet shirt, but in reality it's a very nice stretchy elastic material, so this could be useful for when I need elastic for something. This is the wrist cuff, one of the wrist cuffs from the fishnet shirt. I'm sure the other one is in here somewhere. This is the waistband off that red skirt, which the underlayer I used in that tank top, and then the overlayer is just sitting in my fabric stash for the future. But yeah, the elastic I can use in something else. This zipper was on that little winged backpack, so now I have an extra zipper. These I think were the straps of that backpack, but they're nice kind of faux leather straps, and if the leather falls apart, I still have the metal hardware of them as well. Then I have a bunch of lace that I harvested off of that green sweater. I used some of it already to fix up the little lace trim on the Wednesday Addams dress that I had, but I have a bunch left over, so that's this. This is the old little piece of random doily that was in the Wednesday Addams dress. Ooh, this was faux fur that I unpicked off of some arm warmers that I made. I originally thought I was gonna get rid of the arm warmers, but I ended up just unpicking the fur, and now I'm happy with them and I can use this for something else, so that's cool. This was off a pair of cat ears, which the pattern I used to make the cat ears on my Emily the Strange hoodie. They came with like little pink ribbons and bells. The bee pin from my yellow jacket, some hardware off my shoes, safety pin, and oh, this is from an old purse. The little metallic D-ring thingy. Cross charms I had hanging off a pair of sandals. These are some little bits of garters that I can use the elastic or like little clasps from if I ever want to make my own garters. More random bits of garter. Yeah, this is one of the pokey ones because the this back plastic piece broke and it's like so sharp and painful. But the metal bit is still useful and the elastic bit is still useful. I like keep all my elastics in one bag, so it'll just like go in there and then I'll like deconstruct and take this part off and like put it with my metal stuff, and like everything gets filed away. I also have a bunch of buttons. I went a little bit through my fabric pile when I was doing this, and I had some old pieces of clothing that when I had deconstructed were just like kind of sitting in my fabric pile, so I decided to take all the buttons off of them because that way they're more easily accessible to me. Same with like little bits of Velcro. This was the super uncomfortable neck holder part of my Wednesday Addams dress. But yeah, got some buttons, got some Velcro, and most exciting, I got a bunch of patches back. This one might just have to go into textile recycling. It's incredibly wrinkled and faded and whatever, but you know, fun for the memories. My Ouija Cute as Hell patch from my jeans, and my little cat patch from my jeans. This one's so cute with a little angry cat. I think my parents got this for me, maybe, when they were on a road trip. This was on one of my flannels. This was on that little yellow tank top. This was on another one of my flannels. My friend made this back in university and I had put it on a sweater. These are my no face elbow patches that now I have the fabric depiller. I could probably actually clean them up enough to use them, which is fun, but hey, I didn't know that at the time that I took them off. I don't know if this is a wolf or a coyote, but regardless, I got this patch back. This one kind of looks like a Girl Scout patch. I think it's quite cute. This is one that my parents gave me, and they got it when they were in Nepal. This might go back in the recycling pile, we'll see. This, I have a bunch of this plaid that I might just put back in the plaid pile, or I might try to reconstruct the inner portion of the skirt that I originally took this from and put it back together, because basically for a while when I used to need plaid for projects, I'll show you what I would do. So you know how plaid skirts have like a part that folds over on the inside and there's like kind of this flap that's covered. I figured that no one would miss the fabric if I just like took a square of it and would use that to make my flannel patches for stuff. But now that I have this back, I was kind of wondering if I could maybe Frankenstein this back together. I don't know if it would even be worth it, but it's a possibility. It looks like it's enough to put the thing back together, so I might try working on this. Could be a fun little puzzle to do. It'll be nice maybe to have this skirt back together because a bunch of my skirts are just missing like 2 inches of fabric on the inside. Whoops. Alright, so that's that story. Then I have the Be My Honey patch. I still think this is adorable. I'm happy with the patch that I replaced it with, but this is still super cute. And then I have my kale patch. Oh god, you can like barely see it. But yeah, it's just a leaf of kale, and then it says kale in this nice curly font. And it used to be one of my favorite tank tops, and then it was on one of my favorite flannels, and now it's just a cute patch that will go live in my closet until I am inspired again, I suppose. And last but not least, I have my flower smashed patch. I feel like it might be a little bit difficult to see, but basically with this you just take flowers and grasses and different leaves from around and you put them on some cotton, linen, or whatever kind of fabric like that. Then you just take a hammer and smash the leaves and flowers and petals and stuff into the fabric, and some flowers are better than others for like leaving the marks and stuff. But yeah, it's like a fun craft, and I feel like you could do some really cool like eco-punk kind of stuff with this. I haven't done this technique for so long. So yeah, I don't know if that's of interest to anyone else, but I personally was excited about all my little haul of materials that I get to go squirrel away with the rest of their kind. I don't know. It's fun for me to harvest this kind of thing, and I figured that maybe it would be fun to show kind of like, remember, if you're throwing out or like putting something into textile recycling, don't forget that you can still like harvest the zippers and harvest the buttons and like see if there's any cool ribbon or trim or like something that you might want to take off and actually keep, because it might come in handy, or it might just be a product of my weird tendency to a little bit hoard things, but whatever. I hope you enjoyed this part of the video, and now back to the rest of it. That's all I got for now. Thank you again so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day or night or whenever it happens to be. I hope this maybe inspired you to go ahead and go through your wardrobe and do little adjustments or cleanups or DIYs that you've been meaning to do forever, because dude, we've all been there with just like a pile of projects rotting in the closet. I feel like it's a very universal experience. So if that's you, I wish you luck in reigniting that passion to create them or to just let them go, because honestly, not every project has to be finished. This is a thing that took me a long time to learn, and sometimes it's important to just let things go. So whatever the case may be for you, good luck with it. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Hey, bye!